everybody to Spotlight on Middle Country, a cooperation between the Greater Middle Country Chamber of Commerce and the Miller Business Center, focusing on businesses, people, things to do in the Middle Country area. We're very happy to be here for our third episode. My name is Elizabeth Malafi, and I'm the coordinator of the Miller Business Center.
And my name is Lenore Paprocki. I am the president of the Greater Middle Country Chamber of Commerce.
We're here today with the director of the Middle Country Public Library, Sophia Serlis-McPhillips. Welcome.
Hello. Very pleased to be here today. Thank you. Thank you for asking.
Hello, Sophia. Great to have you.
Lenore, thank you.
And I know Lenore had a couple of questions for Sophia to start off.
Yes, I do. As a matter of fact, Sophia, I was wondering, what exactly does a director of a library do? You guys are behind the scenes, so I don't ever know what you do.
So, I always tell people, if you think about running a library is very similar to running a business. We have employees, we have to, follow all the rules and the laws that apply to having employees. We also run a lot of programs for our patrons. We provide resources. We're a community center, so the public library in this century that we're in now has grown a lot, and people always thought that perhaps nobody would want to come into the building anymore, but that's really not true. People really want to be with other people, and they like coming together and gather. So we have a few different functions here, and of course we've also cataloged books. We do all the traditional things that people remember libraries from 50 years ago. But we're also very progressive, and we do work a lot with our community groups. And as you know, we've worked very closely with the Chamber for many, many years.
And we so appreciate that. Love the connection that we have with the library. Most of our meetings, our lunch meetings, are held at the library, and we're so thankful for your cooperation with us and with the Chamber. So very good. Elizabeth, why don't you take it from here?
I think everybody would really love to hear about what the library is doing in this time. I know, I am here right now, but we have been closed, and we are currently closed. We're getting ready to welcome people back. But can you tell people a little bit about what the library specifically has been doing in these weeks that we've been closed, and maybe what's to come in this new world that we're all facing?
Yeah, so we closed Sunday, March 15th due to the COVID-19 virus. That was a very, very hard decision to make. Obviously we didn't really have a choice, but to close the doors of the library was probably the hardest thing I ever had to do. When you close for snow, you do it, one day or a few hours or an evening, but to close it and not knowing when you were going to open was very challenging. But, luckily, our staff is really wonderful. So we closed, we took a few days to regroup. We made sure people had access to the internet and computers from home, and we immediately just got to work. So we started planning a lot of virtual programs. We made sure that our telephones, our emails, our Ask a Librarian forms, everything that we were able to have in place so that our patrons from home could ask us information. So we tried to make sure that they still had access to the library and they had access to the librarians, even though they weren't able to, let's say, come physically into the building. And then we also made sure that people had a way to communicate with our customer service department, because a lot of people at the time, maybe their library card was expired, they were worried about their fines, they wanted to return materials. So we really had to put a lot of procedures in place to make sure that the library cards were extended, that they can communicate with one of our clerks in our customer service department, and just to make sure that all those services were still flowing.
And what can we expect going forward?
Well, I think what we've learned that we are able to function remotely, and I'm not saying that takes the place of having our building and having people come into the building, but it's nice to know that we were able to provide a level of service. We were able to continue with one-on-one appointments. The Miller Center librarians were able to still help businesses remotely. We were able to provide career counseling services remotely. Our social worker could also have appointments, private appointments, on the telephone or via Zoom with people who needed help during this stressful time. So, we realized that works. Just since we've been closed, we were able to provide 140 virtual programs for children, teens, adults. So that's actually pretty incredible. Some of them were live, some of them we filmed, like a librarian could do a story time at home, and then we were able to post it on our YouTube channel or Facebook, or whichever way we wanted to do that. But I think going forward, our goal is to continue offering the programs. We were included. We were very fortunate that Governor Cuomo included libraries in his first phase of opening as essential. So that was wonderful. So now we are in the process of trying to reopen our buildings and bring back our staff. Little by little, we're allowed to bring back eventually 50% of our what they're calling non-essential workforce, although I believe that everyone who works here is essential. So we're doing that gradually, but we have a lot of compliance that we have to abide by. There are a lot of rules. We have to have an official reopening plan, a lot of contact tracing in place. So we do have a lot, similar to all the other businesses who have to follow these steps. We're following those steps too, and our goal is to bring back everybody into the building safely, and make sure that we have everything, all the PPE and everything that we need for the staff. But again, while we're doing this, we're still going to provide all the programs that we're doing, and eventually it might be a blend. When we get to maybe phase 2, we'll have curbside assistance, and that's going to begin on June 17th. So patrons can call the library, can email, we'll put items on reserve, and similar to Target or the supermarket, we'll put their items in a bag. We're going to take it out to their car. It'll be contactless service, so they can pop open their trunk. We can leave a bag by their door. So we're really excited about that service. And then again, eventually we're hoping that in phase 3 of the process, we'll be able to have patrons come back into the building. Again, it will not be at the level that they were used to before. We're not sure how many people will be allowed into the building. We will have appointments and computer access and so forth. But again, there's a lot that's still unknown. So we're waiting to hear about that. It's just that obviously the programs, or large programs that we've done in the past, I'm not sure when we'll be able to do that. Again, a lot of that is out of our control. So.
Right. I bet you a lot of people had no idea that a library is really being run as a business. A lot of people just don't have that, the thought process behind it. And when you describe it the way you describe, you're dealing with the same exact problems as many of the other, or all of the other businesses are dealing with. How do you open in a slow and safe and effective way to get your business going again, but still watch the safety measures? Never would have thought of curbside delivery for your books. That's phenomenal. And the fact that now there's a nice combination. Sometimes these crises make you become a lot more aware of what you can do via social media or the internet. So I think that it turns out that your business, as well as many others, will have that blend going forward. And I think that that's a step in progress in the right direction.
Yeah, I personally, I know for the Miller Center, we started doing the virtual programs during when we shut down, and we're seeing really great attendance to them, and we're seeing business people that maybe were far away and weren't able to drive a half hour to get to our location and attend the program for an hour and a half and then take another half an hour to get back to their business. So I foresee a lot of great changes coming from this, and Sophia can speak more to that, but some great changes in that will probably keep a virtual aspect to a lot of our programming and other things that we're doing. So it's
Absolutely. I have to give kudos to Elizabeth and the whole Miller team, because really the Miller Center has been thriving through this. So you always look for the silver linings, right? So the Miller Center and what the Miller Center was able to accomplish during this time has been incredible, and I think that they have a momentum that I hope continues. So again, we want people to come back into the building, but the business community seems to really sort of like being to do this from remote. They have more time, or they just seem very comfortable doing it. I think what's going to happen is that we will keep the virtual program even when we're open, because I feel that there are people, especially children who are autistic or people with special needs, people who are very busy that maybe can't come to maybe a yoga or a meditation class at 6 or 7 p.m., but maybe at 10 or 11, maybe when their children are sleeping, or they might have the opportunity to do that, or people who maybe work in the city and are commuting. So I think that, we have a level of flexibility now that we didn't know that we had before, so now we can continue to offer those programs. And I think that going forward, I think the challenge for us is going to be identifying the vulnerable communities. So who's not going to come back into the building? Maybe some of our senior citizens who might be afraid to go out, or maybe people who have, immune problems, or people who are receiving chemotherapy, or, there's all sorts of people that might still be afraid to come back out for their health or for their loved ones. So I think that we'll keep an aspect of this programming, because I think it's going to, it, what we're dealing with COVID-19 is really not going to go away anytime soon.
Right. And the accessibility of being able to, like you said, if you're, if you have, a house full of children, but you'd love to take a yoga class, but you can't get out at 7 o'clock at night. Well, maybe at 10 o'clock when all the kids are in bed, you can turn on the library yoga program and do it yourself. And they can utilize you even more so. I think it only grows your presence in the entire community and all of Long Island, since, let's face it, you guys have a reach with the Miller Business Center being, part of your home base. What you can do and how you can influence people is enormous, and that's a great thing.
We're trying. Also, I also feel too, we're not really sure economically how this is going to impact everybody right now. So I think that the coming year is going to be challenging for everyone. Businesses, individuals, libraries, not-for-profits. So I think the coming year will be interesting, it'll be challenging. And again, we'll work together with the community just to see what we can do to help and provide services and be a support system, right? That's always trying to see how we can support the community. So, I think we have a challenging year ahead, once we get through these phases and through these months. But I think, we're all in it together, so to speak, right?
Right, absolutely. One last question. You had kind of touched on the fact that the Middle Country Library does do some major events, which bring in lots of people through your doors. I think it's a great opportunity to, between the Strictly Business Trade Show, which unfortunately had to get canceled this year, and who knows, maybe it can be rescheduled. But October is always the Women's Expo. That's always such a successful event for you guys. Are there any plans? Are you rethinking it? Maybe we could push it out to December and be right before Christmas. It'll be a great time because these women-owned businesses, have such great items, perfect for Christmas time. So has that been a thought process?
Absolutely. So we've been actually brainstorming with Elizabeth for the past week or so, just trying to think of what to do, because, we don't want the Women's Expo or Strictly Business to go away. It would have been the 20th anniversary of the Women's Expo in October. So we don't want to lose the momentum with the women entrepreneurs and with our funders and the community, so to speak. So we're looking to see if there's another way that we could do it. We've been tossing ideas about a virtual show, maybe still having raffles in the lobby so that people can showcase their wares, highlighting or spotlighting different businesses. So we have to plan that, and we have to see if, our partners are interested in doing something like that, but we don't want to lose the momentum. And at least we still want to be able to provide an educational piece, right? And Elizabeth can speak to it a little bit more, but, maybe some people who are technology challenged or are learning to cooperate, to almost deal in a different way now. Before some people preferred to do everything in person. Really now, no matter what, you really are forced to be on the computer or to do everything via the internet, online, or through social media. So, maybe there's an educational component there that we can help with.
Well, it's interesting what you say, Sophia, because the expo is so much more than that one day. And I know the people that attend the expo know, like, oh, this is my favorite day of the year. I come to the library and I meet all these wonderful women and I start my shopping. But a big part of the expo is what we do before the expo and after the expo, which is a lot of educational opportunities, a lot of one-on-ones with the women entrepreneurs, and a lot of connecting them with business professionals such as Lenore in the community to help them grow their business. So I'm confident we're still going to be able to do that aspect of it. But as Sophia said, we're still trying to figure out how we can get that, that outside aspect of it where they're goods are available so we can start our Christmas shopping and we can shop local and we can shop women-owned businesses, which is always so important, but probably even more important in this world we are in right now.
Yeah, for sure.
And for
Absolutely.
Strictly Business, obviously the Strictly Business Trade Show is a partnership with the Greater Middle Country Chamber of Commerce and the Brookhaven Chambers of Commerce Coalition. And, for the fall, I'm not sure when it could be rescheduled, but I'm hoping that if we can't hold it in May again next year, who knows what will be going on. Maybe we'll do it outside. I don't know. Or maybe we'll find another way to do it. But I feel that, the three organizations, I think our commitment to Strictly Business has been there for a long time. And I'm sure that we can all work together to come up with a solution or a way to help the businesses that we work with.
Well, I certainly look forward to all the creative ideas that everybody, all businesses are going to have due to, coming out of this COVID-19 now and hopefully keeping people safe. But I think that there's tons of new creative ideas that would have not normally been forced out of our heads. We would have never been this creative. And if this hadn't happened. So again, try to find the good with the bad. We never want to forget all the people that, unfortunately did pass or, were very, very ill due to this. I'm not making light of that at all. However, again, we always like to look for the good in the bad. And I think that that's going to be the good is that the changes are going to be positive and are going to, help us to move forward in the 21st century. And I think that's a wonderful thing.
Agreed.
I
Yeah.
agree.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much.
Yes, we really appreciated your time, Sophia. Thank you.
My
Is there
pleasure.
anything else
Thank you
you'd
for
like to
inviting.
add? You have like a last minute, and what if somebody wants to reach out to the library right now, even though you are, you were in the phase 1 starting to open, but if somebody wants to reach out to the library for information, what's the best way to do that?
Now, the best way to do, if they go to the library's website, mcplibrary.org, we have a form, it's Ask a Librarian form, and they can submit questions or anything that they want there, and we can direct it to wherever it needs to go.
Perfect.
You can also still call the library, 631-585-9393, and we are still listening to all of our messages, and we will contact anybody back. So they can reach us in any way.
Very good. So we appreciate your time here today. Thank you so much. Elizabeth, once again, thank you. I love doing
a pleasure.
Looking forward to our next one. Everybody have a great day. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.